Hey, this is Jessie with Magical View Crew, and I just toured all 4 buildings in Magnolia Bend at Port Orleans Riverside to help you find the best building for your next trip here. Whether you want one of the best river views, the most direct river views, the closest you can get to a river, or maybe you want a really quiet room. Maybe you just want to be closest to the French Quarter to head over and get those beignets. We have all those buildings coming up for you,
and specific views that I found absolutely stunning, including exact room numbers in case you ever want to request them.
Ready to go? Let's go.
Welcome to Port Orleans Riverside, Magnolia Bend. Riverside has 2 sections. You have Alligator Bayou on one side, which feels more rustic and sprawling. And then you have Magnolia Bend on the other side, which has mansions that are very elegant and stately. And that's where we're headed today. But if you want to know the best buildings and views in Alligator Bayou, check out my other video right here. It goes into everything you need to know. Magnolia Bend is made up of 4 charming Southern style mansions. They're 3 stories each, and they're the only buildings in Riverside with elevators. Every single building in Alligator Bayou does not have an elevator. There are 256 rooms per mansion. So now that you've decided you want to stay in Magnolia Bend, what is your best chance of getting it? 3 ways. Book a royal guest room. More on that soon. Don't book a 5th sleeper room because all of those are located in Alligator Bayou. Or simply call Disney and request that side. Now remember, requests aren't guaranteed, but they can certainly help your chances. Each of the Magnolia Bend buildings have their own charm. You have Acadian House Building 80. That's back a bit from the river, which is why it often gets overlooked. But that's also why a lot of people love it. And depending on which side of the building you're on, you'll be closest to the North Depot, which is the 2nd bus stop at Riverside out of 4, or the East Depot, which is the 3rd stop. Acadian House is closest to Alligator Bayou, not far at all from Building 38. Then you have Magnolia Terrace, Building 85. It is the fan favorite. It's close to everything. It has great river views. As far as buses, you'll be closest to the East Depot. That's the 3rd stop on the route. Oak Manor, Building 90. Oak Manor is known for its glorious, majestic oaks.
And I think one benefit to all the oak trees here too, as you can see behind me, there's a ton of shade, which really comes in handy when you're, for example, here in the middle of July filming at, 11 a.m. But if you are visiting in the summer or a hot time, and it's hot most of the time in Florida, you'll really appreciate the shade here.
Oak Manor used to be royal guest rooms only, but now they've turned all those rooms back into regular rooms. And Oak Manor is now available as a preferred or a standard option. Personally, I think this is a big plus considering Oak Manor is jaw-droppingly stunning and now open to more people, but we'll get to that soon. Your closest bus stop will either be the East Depot or the South Depot, depending on which side of the building that you're on. Parterre Place is Building 95. These are where you'll find your royal guest rooms. It's known for its big long fountain at the front and princess flags hung everywhere. Makes you feel like you're royal coming home every night. More on Parterre Place in a bit. One quick thing to know before we get into the best rooms. In 2026, you can no longer book by view. Instead, you're booking by location. So you're basically leaving your view to chance unless you call Disney and put in a request. That's why this really comes down to knowing what to ask for. This can be annoying, yes, but at the same time, now you can get a river view in every category without paying extra within that category. So if nothing else, that's one big plus. And this video tells you exactly where the best ones are. Let's start with preferred rooms in Magnolia Bend. If you've stayed at Riverside before, preferred used to mean that you'd automatically be placed in Alligator Bayou. Now, in 2026, it also includes the front halves of Magnolia Terrace and Oak Manor. With preferred, you're paying to be close to the food court, the lobby, the boat, the main pool. You're not paying for a view. So this category is all about convenience, and where you're placed within the building matters a lot because these buildings are huge.
When I first got up to film this morning, I only allowed myself a certain amount of time because we're getting kicked out of the room at 11. Not realizing how huge each of these buildings are. I was like, oh, there's only 4 buildings. Not going to take long. It's taking long. I think I've been out for about 30 minutes and I still need to get to the 3rd floor of Acadian House.
Let's get into the best preferred location mansions to request based on what matters to you most. Convenience, buses, and quiet. Then I'll show you our magical picks section, which are some of the prettiest views that I think you'll find on the mansion side, including specific room numbers that you can jot down just in case you see something you like. And as a preview, if you like a river view, there are specific rooms that give you a river view out both windows. And yes, some rooms have 2 windows, and we'll get to that soon. Best preferred rooms in Magnolia Bend. These are rooms located in the front halves of Magnolia Terrace in Oak Manor. These are rooms that are best for being close to the food court, the lobby, the boat, the main pool. That would be building 85 Magnolia Terrace. Basically, when you walk out of Magnolia Terrace, you're right next to a footbridge. And that footbridge will take you right over to Old Man Island, which will then take you to the lobby. It's the closest you can get to the food court. If you want the absolute closest room to that bridge, ask for room 8539. Closest you're going to get. Best preferred rooms for buses. That's going to be, again, Magnolia Terrace, purely because it's closest to the East Depot, the 3rd stop on the Riverside route. Best for quiet. If quiet is your top priority in preferred, Oak Manor is usually the best choice, as long as you avoid the courtyard side and the pool. And here's why. Movie nights happen on the Oak Manor lawn. Now, movies are on a big projector with speakers, so the sound does travel. Most people don't find them wildly loud, but if your room faces the lawn or the courtyard right next to the movie, you can sometimes hear the movie audio and the kids and the extra foot traffic. For the best chance at a quieter stay, I would request an upper floor room that does not face the courtyard. And this also gets you away from any boat noise that you might hear from the boat going to and from the French Quarter and Disney Springs. Why not Magnolia Terrace for this? Because pool noise from the main pool is a thing, and you can definitely hear it from across the bridge. And now our preferred room magical picks. These are specific room numbers that literally stopped me in my tracks as I was touring because I found the view to be so stunning. I hope you agree. Now, Magnolia Terrace and Oak Manor are awesome for river views because there's a section of them that jut out even closer to the river. You have the main building a little bit farther back, and then these 2 other extensions of the main building that jut out closer. But make sure you ask for a 2nd floor if you're not going to do a specific room number, because in 99% of cases, if you're on the 1st floor, you can't see the river at all. You can only see it from the 2nd floor. This is honestly one of the best river view rooms you can get in Riverside because not only are you seeing the river out the front window, since it's an outside corner room and outside corner rooms have 2 windows, you're seeing it out the side too. That's a double win.
This is a beautiful corner room. And then because of the 2 windows, then you have this on the side. So you have garden on one side and the river on the other. Is 8917. Can see the river a lot better up here. So that's a good option. Another nice option for close river view. And then, oh my God, and then you get to look at this. So I would recommend 9271 just because this is pretty. 9419. Honestly, these are really nice. These are really pretty.
And now, magical preferred woods views.
So I've been through 3 so far, and I have to say, if you're looking for like pure aesthetics, Oak Manor, that's where it's at. It's so pretty in this building. I think because of all the oaks, it's all shaded. The landscaping here is just 9043, 9044. Oh, you have a fountain. 9045. 8566 is nice.
Moving into magical preferred pool views.
9282, nice pool view.
8730 is a nice pool view. It's a little far back, which is good if you're concerned about any pool noise you might hear. Next up, standard location category. In the past, standard rooms let you choose the view you wanted. In 2026, that's changed. Now, when you book standard, you'll either be placed in Acadian House or the back halves of Magnolia Terrace and Oak Manor, which means that yes, views can vary. This category, though, can actually be a hidden win, especially if you know where to look. Now you can get a river view in Acadian House for no extra cost. Is it probably the best river view you'll get in Magnolia Bend? I would say no, because Acadian House is a bit farther back. But if you still want to get a river view and you don't want to pay the extra for it, this is a great opportunity. And plus, as soon as you come out of Acadian House, you're pretty much on the path at the river anyway. So you wouldn't have to walk far to see it. Best for amenities, that would be Magnolia Terrace. Remember, it's standard, so we're talking about the back half of Magnolia Terrace. But request close to the lobby to get as close to preferred as possible. Again, without bringing yourself into that preferred category and dropping an extra $100 or so. Best standard rooms for buses. Quick reminder on the bus order. So there are a total of 4 bus stops at Riverside. You have the West Depot, that's the first bus, the North, the East, and then the South. The South is the very last one by the lobby. If rope drop matters to you, you do not want to go to the South Depot by the lobby. By the time the bus gets there, it's already picked up people from 3 other stops and it can be full, making you late for rope drop. It's happened. A lot of people have told me that it's happened. Standard rooms in Magnolia Terrace are actually great for the bus because they're already located in the back of the building, which is where the bus stop is. One side of the back of Magnolia Terrace is actually seconds away from the East Depot. If rope drop matters to you and you want to play it extra safe and get on the second bus stop instead of the third, you can still ask for Acadian House. That'll put you right next to the North Depot. But because Acadian House standard means anywhere in that building and not just the back, I would ask for specifically Acadian House near the North Depot. Standard rooms best for quiet. That's going to be Acadian House. It's farther back and away from the footbridges where so many people are crossing to head over to Old Man Island and the lobby and the food court. And it's almost like Acadian House knows how quiet it is because they literally put out these cute little benches in front of the building for people to relax during the day or first thing in the morning. Super cute. Oak Manor is another great one for quiet. There's no bus stops and less foot traffic. And since you're in the standard category, you're already in the back half of the building, which keeps you away from the big screen on movie nights. And now it's time for our standard view magical picks. These are views that stopped me in my tracks as I was touring Magnolia Bend because I thought they were so gorgeous, so lovely, and I would stay there in a heartbeat. First, we start with magical standard river views. 8416 is another nice option. Just keep in mind it is a king room. 8418 is just off of the center where the hallway is, and you have a really nice river view here. 8423 is a cute corner room on the end with a river view in the front and a pool view on the side. 8258 gives you a cute view of 2 benches and the river in the background. And now, magical standard woods and parking lot. Now, don't hate me for this one. This is actually a parking lot view in the back of Oak Manor. And normally I wouldn't request a parking lot view, but like the back of these buildings are actually really, really nice and really, really pretty. So if you don't mind being back there, maybe want to be close to the bus, you have some nice scenery to look at. Moving on to Parterre Place and the Royal Guest Rooms. Parterre Place is very much a love it or hate it building. If you want the royal theming, it's the only option in 2026. If you want to feel close to everything, it's probably not the best choice. If you're set on that royal guest room, but you still value getting quickly to the food court, to the other amenities, request a river view or request close to the footbridge that leads over to the food court and the lobby, which is about a 5-minute walk. It's a pretty walk though. Your bus will be the South Depot, which is the last bus stop on the route. Keep in mind, if you're trying to make rope drop, the bus could be full by the time it gets to you. So if rope drop matters, I would head over to the East Depot right next to Magnolia Terrace. That at least puts you one stop ahead. As a heads up, you'll be on the outskirts of the resort and it might feel a little removed from the rest of it. So much that if you don't actively go out and explore the rest of the resort, you honestly won't even know it exists. Some people prefer that, and that's great. But for others, they might feel a little isolated. On the plus side, though, Parterre Place is the closest mansion to the French Quarter. So if you wanted to take that 10-minute walk over there for some beignets, Parterre Place is the closest mansion. For another hidden view win, since categories aren't view-based anymore, you can ask for a river view here at no extra cost. And this is one of those mansions that does have the river view out 2 windows, not just one. So it's a double win. And we'll get into specific room numbers in our magical picks section coming up right now. These are royal guest rooms with some of the most stunning views in Riverside. First, we'll start with royal guest rooms with river views. 9740 is a really nice river view.
And then you have, this is another, oh, here we go. This is the corner room, so this is going to be your woods view on the side. This is nice. And then you look this way. You sort of got another river view, so that's a good one. This one is get a river and you get this, so that could be a good pick. 9756.
And now, magical royal guest room woods views.
9542.
I would say courtyard views here are definitely the way to go. There were too many to film because they all had beautiful views. So if the courtyard does look like something that you'd want to see outside your window, specifically request courtyard view Parterre Place. If you're on the fence between a royal guest room and a preferred room, here's the simplest way to decide. If theme matters most, book a royal guest room. Just know it'll put you automatically in Parterre Place and understand you'll just be farther out than the other 3 mansions. Now, currently they are renovating all the royal guest rooms, so we don't even know what they look like at the moment. So maybe watch out for any updates on those before you decide. If location matters most to you, definitely book preferred and request Magnolia Bend, since preferred could put you in Alligator Bayou. You'll be closer to the food court, the boat to Disney Springs, and the main pool, and you still have a shot at a river view. But here's the part most people miss. Since views aren't tied to categories anymore, you can request a river view in either category at no extra cost.
So, what did you think of our picks? When you stayed here at Magnolia Bend, was there a particular building or room number that you really loved or maybe didn't love? Please let us know in the comments. Let us know if we missed something. Do I need to go back and check? Let us know. And if you'd like to see similar videos about some of the best rooms that you can stay in at any Walt Disney World resort, let us know. Like and subscribe. We'll get on those as soon as possible. It's hot. In the meantime, we hope we made your next view a little more magical. Thank you so much for watching.